Force 13, it's Australia Oceania Channel, where the ACT, Canberra, Melbourne, New South Wales are now under a severe thunderstorm activity, along with severe weather in Victoria. There's a severe weather warning in place in addition to the severe thunderstorm warning. On the screen is a look at supercell cells and quite a bit of black. The Bureau of Meteorology warns that at 12:30 very dangerous thunderstorms were detected on the weather radar near Belconnen and Hull. They're currently moving towards the southeast. Very dangerous thunderstorms forecast will affect the Canberra, Civic, Caribbean, Tuggeranong, Canberra Airport, South Canberra, Western Creek and Rawdon Valley by 1300 hours. And it's now 13:08 in the southern states. Other severe thunderstorms were detected on the weather radar near Mount Franklin, Cotter Dam, Titbinbilla Nature Reserve, and the Brindabellis. Likely destructive winds, large, possibly giant hailstones, and heavy rainfall may lead to flash flooding. There's also a severe thunderstorm warning current for New South Wales. Severe thunderstorm warning for damaging, locally destructive winds, large, possibly giant hailstones, heavy rainfall for the Hunter Metropolitan, Illawarra, South Coast, Central Tablelands, Southern Tablelands, the Southwest Slopes, the Snowy Mountains, ACT, parts of the Mid-North Coast, Northwest Slopes, Plains, Central West Slopes, and Plains and Riverina forecast districts. So the entire southern coastal region of New South Wales, from the New South Wales Victorian border up to north of Newcastle, up to the eastern edge of Tamworth, then back to the west of Dubbo and to the east of Griffith and to the west of Albury on the Victorian New South Wales border. The low pressure system over inland New South Wales is drawing humid air across eastern parts of the state, causing widespread thunderstorm activity. This system is expected to gradually move to the Tasman Sea later tonight. Severe thunderstorms are likely to produce damaging, locally destructive winds, large, possibly giant hailstones, heavy rainfall leading to flash flooding in the warning area over the next several hours. Locations which could be affected: Newcastle, Gosford, Sydney, Wollongong, Nowra, Batemans Bay, Orange, Canberra, Goulburn, Tamworth, Dubbo, Wagga Wagga and Albury. Yanco Automatic Weather Station recorded 25 millimetres of rainfall in the 30 minutes to 8:30 a.m. A fire weather warning remains in place for the northwestern fire area in New South Wales. Hot temperature combined with gusty winds will bring elevated fire dangers to the northern inland. And at this point in time, we are on our automated streaming service. We will continue to bring the imagery, and I will cut in when there's updated information. I will also be monitoring the channel's chat, and if you've got any questions, please post. And here in Brisbane, looks like the Weather Bureau is now monitoring the state for thunderstorm activity to develop in coming hours. Here in Queensland, the time is coming up for 12:15. For Victoria, severe thunderstorm warning is current for heavy rainfall for the Mallee, Northern Country, parts of the North Central, West, the South Gippsland and the Wimmera forecast districts. Severe thunderstorms likely to produce intense rainfall that may lead to dangerous and life-threatening flash flooding over the next several hours in parts of the West and South Gippsland district. And the South Gippsland area is where the storm activity, apology for that, the fire outbreak. The areas that could be affected: Morwell, Warragul, Sale, Murray, Maffra and Mount Bulbul. Severe thunderstorms are likely to produce heavy rainfall and flash flooding in the Mallee, Northern Country, parts of the North Central, Wimmera. Locations that could be affected: Mildura, Kerrang, Swan Hill, Birchip, St Arnold, Bendigo, Echuca, Shepparton, Rochester and Castlemaine. A severe thunderstorm over Stratford in West Gippsland has delivered, apology for this again, rainfall rates recording 45 millimetres in the last 2 hours, 72 millimetres in the last 3 hours. A severe thunderstorm also over the gorge has delivered near to intense rainfall rates, recording 43 millimetres in the last hour, 52 millimetres in the last 2 hours. And the Bureau will update that warning about 3:15. A strong wind warning remains in place for the Port Phillip Bay, Western Port, West Coast, Central Coast. This is for 13 Australia Oceania Channel. We're currently on the automated streaming mode. We're keeping a close eye on the severe activity now impacting Victoria, New South Wales, the Australian Capital Territory, and whilst I'm located here in Brisbane, Queensland, the Weather Bureau has also mentioned about severe thunderstorm activity developing here in the state of Queensland in coming hours. Apology for the loss of audio. I'm operating two computers, and I actually had to change headset. And just repeating, we're on the automated streaming mode for the time being, and I will come on air when there's new updated information. This is a live streaming webcam. It's operated by the New South Wales Maritime Section or Department, New South Wales State Government. And this is one that I've been monitoring for quite a few weeks. And visibility a few days ago, you couldn't see the islands. And this is, as I said, Bateman's Bay. Coming up for 12:30 here in Queensland, southern states 1 hour ahead. And I will be switching screens. This is a webcam that I've got facing north of my HQ and the Brisbane region. And this is the current scene down there in Melbourne. The live streaming webcam looks down over Melbourne CBD, the Crown Casino, and this is one of two angles that this particular site shows. And it does also face to the west. Strong wind warning remains in place for the Port Phillip Bay, Western Port, West Coast, Central Coast in Victoria. Bureau of Meteorology South Australia has cancelled the red weather alert for Adelaide. Strong wind warning remains in place for the lower southeast coast, South Australia, but the Bureau has cancelled the Strong wind warning for the Gulf of St Vincent's upper south-east coast. For the state of Tasmania, strong wind warning, Bank Strait, Franklin Sound, east of the Flinders Island, southwest coast, central west coast, and the Bureau's cancelled the one for the upper east coast. And over in Western Australia, the Bureau has a strong wind warning for the Perth local waters, Nigaloo, Gascoyne, Geraldton, Lesotho, Perth, and the Bunbury geographic coast. And a similar warning will be in place Tuesday. Meteorology New South Wales has a severe thunderstorm warning current for damaging, locally destructive winds, large, possibly giant hailstones, heavy rainfall. The warning remains in place for the metropolitan Illawarra, South Coast, Central Tablelands, Southern Tablelands, the Southwest Slopes, the Snowy Mountains, ACT. There's also a separate warning for the ACT. The Bureau in New South Wales has in place a severe thunderstorm warning for damaging, locally destructive winds, large, possibly giant hailstones, heavy rainfall for the Hunter, Metropolitan, Illawarra, the South Coast, Central Tablelands, Southern Tablelands, the Southwest Slopes, Snowy Mountains, ACT, and there's a separate warning for the Capital Territory, the Mid-North Coast, the Northwest Slopes and Plains, the Central West Slopes and Plains, and the Riverina. Severe thunderstorm outbreak across southern New South Wales today. And what's causing this? A low pressure system over inland New South Wales is drawing humid air across eastern parts of the state, causing widespread thunderstorm activity. This system is expected to gradually move into the Tasman Sea later tonight. Severe thunderstorm activity. The areas that could be impacted: Newcastle, Gosford, Sydney, Wollongong, now Batemans Bay, Orange, Canberra, Goulburn, Tamworth, Dubbo, Wagga Wagga and Albury. The Yanco AWS recorded 25 millimetres of rainfall in the 30 minutes to 8:30 a.m. The Bureau will update this advisory 3:30 local time. And the Bureau has updated the warning for the ACT. Severe thunderstorms in the area have temporarily eased. However, the redevelopment of severe thunderstorms remain possible, and the situation is being closely monitored. However, 116 km/h wind gusts recorded at Canberra Airport around 12:45 p.m. I was actually viewing a live streaming webcam at that airport, and there were signs that the wind was strong, and the Bureau's confirmed the wind gusts. 90 km/h wind gusts was recorded at Bathurst Airport around 1300 hours. We are currently on the automated streaming mode, and I'm also keeping an eye on the possible development of severe thunderstorm activity here in Queensland. And this is a look at the Sydney radar, and quite a few intense cells. Bureau of Meteorology New South Wales has updated their severe thunderstorm activity. They've actually issued a second advisory for damaging winds, large hailstones for the Blue Mountains, the Hawkesbury, Maitland, Cessnock, Gosford, Wyong, Sydney, Wallandilla and Wingecarribee. Apology for the pronunciation on that one. The Bureau warns that at 13:45 severe thunderstorms were detected on the weather radar near the area west of Berrimah, Lithgow District, Muswellbrook District, the Glen Davis Nunes District, north of Lithgow. These storms are currently tracking towards the southeast. They're forecast to affect Colo Heights, Bundanoon and Mossvale by 14:15, Richmond, Witherspoon and Braxton by 14:45, damaging winds, large hailstones. The two cells, the Blue Mountains, and there's a further one to the west of Bower and tracking down towards Nower. And the cloud is starting to move in over my HQ, and my location is the Brisbane region. This is one of the storm cells. The Blue Mountains one. This is Forster 13. Coming up at the top of the hour, 1300 hours here in Brisbane, and 1400 hours Sydney and Victoria, Tasmania. And it's a view of a live streaming webcam, Goffs Harbour, New South Wales. So look at the Sydney radar in part. Severe thunderstorm activity continues. Actually, the Bureau has updated severe thunderstorm warning for damaging, locally destructive winds, large, possibly. Severe thunderstorm update by the Bureau of Meteorology in New South Wales. The Bureau updated about 15 minutes ago. The severe thunderstorm warning for damaging, locally destructive winds, large, possibly giant hailstones, and heavy rainfall for the Hunter, Metropolitan, Illawarra, South Coast, the Southern Tablelands, the parts of the Mid-North Coast, Central Tablelands, the Northwest Slopes and Plains, the Snowy Mountains, and the ACT. And the headline to the Bureau's advisory: severe thunderstorm outbreak across southern New South Wales. A low pressure system currently lies over inland New South Wales, drawing humid air across eastern parts of the state, causing widespread thunderstorm activity, and the system is expected to gradually move to the Tasman Sea later tonight. The Bureau has cancelled the severe thunderstorm warning for the central west slopes, the plains, the southwest slopes, Riverina districts. And as reported earlier, 116 kilometre an hour wind gusts recorded at Canberra Airport at 12:45, and a 90 kilometre an hour wind gust was recorded at Bathurst Airport around 1300 hours. And looking at my live webcam, it looks like the clouds are starting to roll in from the west. So at 13:17 here in Queensland, I'm not going to be surprised to see the Bureau issue a severe thunderstorm warning. And considering the developing scene, I'm just doing some fine tuning here. At 13:18, this is Force 13, it's Australian Oceania channel, where we have now switch off the automated stream. We are now live, and welcome to our viewers who are viewing this live event, and also those who will look at the stream. Now this is a look at the supercell activity tracking New South Wales in a southeasterly direction. And repeating, severe thunderstorm warning has been updated by the Bureau of Meteorology New South Wales for damaging, locally destructive winds, large, possibly giant hailstones, and heavy rainfall. Just doing some fine tuning here. This is a view of a live streaming webcam, Melbourne, looking down over the Crown Casino. The Bureau of Meteorology has cancelled the severe thunderstorm warning for the Australian Capital Territory. And again, a look at the Sydney radar. It's the 126 kilometre loop. And look at that supercell activity. A low pressure system currently over inland New South Wales is drawing humid air across eastern parts of the state, causing widespread thunderstorm activity. The system is expected to gradually move into the Tasman Sea. Some observations. Sydney Observatory Hill. They have central pressure 1,000 millibars. They have easterly winds 24 kilometres an hour. So the wind factor is increasing in the Sydney region. The Holsworthy observation station for the Bureau, also Sydney, they have central pressure at 999.5. They have 22 kilometres an hour, gusting 37 kilometres an hour, or 12 knots, gusting 20. And further south at Moss Vale, northerly winds at 28 kilometres an hour, gusting 56 kilometres an hour, or 15 knots, gusting 30. The central pressure is 1,000.6 millibars. It did drop to 998 an hour ago. At 2 p.m, northeasterly winds 35, gusting 45. Then 11 minutes later, 28 kilometres an hour, gusting 56. For Albion Park, east northeasterly winds 24 kilometres an hour, gusting 35, or 13 knots, gusting 19. Central pressure is 999.8. Newcastle, Nobbies, to the north of Sydney. Easterly winds 22 kilometres an hour, gusting 26. Cessnock Airport, northeasterly winds 19 kilometres an hour, gusting 28. Central pressure 998.7 and dropping. That's northeasterly winds 19 kilometres an hour, gusting 28. And we'll have a look at the 64 kilometre loop. This is also the Sydney radar. Gosford. East northeasterly winds 19 kilometres an hour, gusting 28 east northeast. Richmond. It's east northeasterly 13 kilometres, gusting 22. And they have a central pressure at 997.9 and dropping. Then we come further south into the left corner of your screen. Camden, easterly winds 17 kilometres an hour, gusting 24, and central pressure is 998.8. is Force 13 live. On the screen is the Himawari 8 satellite imagery for the Southwest Pacific region. On the screen is the Himawari 8 satellite imagery, Australia's eastern region taking in the Southwest Pacific, and you can definitely see the clockwise motion that's generating, along with the humidity. Severe weather warning remains in place for parts of Victoria, along with severe thunderstorm warnings for Victoria and New South Wales. Just quickly, this is looking to the north of my HQ. The cloud is actually starting to come in. Biometeorology put out a Twitter posting about 3 hours ago indicating that they're monitoring the scene here in Queensland. Severe thunderstorm activity is a strong possibility. And in about 45 minutes to an hour, the biometeorology will update their tropical cyclone 3-day outlook information, and I'll be interested to see what they say about the Northwest Kimberley region, WA, and also a trough that's expected to develop in the Darwin region later on this week. This is Force 13 live at 13:43 Australian Eastern Standard Time, and your support is appreciated. And considering that the low pressure system, or upper level low, saw over 300 millimetres of rain recorded here on the Gold Coast Friday night, leading to swift water rescues, a kangaroo being rescued from a flooded road also on the Gold Coast. The main Brisbane to Gold Coast highway cut to all traffic, both north and south. Flooding in Southport, which is the northern end of the Gold Coast. And one should keep in mind that we've already seen tropical cyclone Tino, and I'll just alter the screen, and there he is. It'll definitely be a subtropical system. There was a bit of damage reported in the Fiji region. Again, crops were damaged. And on the screen is a look at the 850 millibar for the upper level divergence. You can clearly see it's only around 10 knots. And then we come up to the top end of Australia, 10 to 20. Darwin down the northwest coast of WA, but very strong in the southeastern corner of the Gulf of Carpentaria, the southwestern region of Cape York. That's the upper level divergence. And further east, around 10 to 20 knots. Now we have a look at the 850 millibar vorticity, and we're starting off northwest WA coast. The Bureau of Meteorology via their tropical cyclone 3-day outlook. Whilst there are no significant tropical systems in the region, none expected to develop during the next 3 days. Percentages for the next 3 days very low. A trough is expected to persist over northern Western Australia throughout this week. There is a slight chance of a weak low forming later in the week over the Kimberley or adjacent waters. And looking at the vorticity, it looks like the Bureau could be on the money. What I look for when we look at the vorticity, and I'll just scroll across the page. The scale is on the right hand side of the screen, and what I look for is the white. And coming down to the Sydney Victoria region, you can actually see the vorticity, and also to the east of Tasmania. The Bureau of Meteorology via their tropical cyclone outlook 3 days for the northern region, including the Gulf of Carpentaria. In the longer term, a surge in the westerly winds across the Timor and Arafura seas will activate a surface trough over inland parts near the base of the top end. The music in the background is the creation of Force 13 UK. And this is the area in yellow under the severe thunderstorm warning, New South Wales. And this is the warning area, severe weather impacting Victoria, mainly their eastern region. And to our viewers, a special thank you for being with us. And this is a developing scene. As I mentioned earlier, the cloud is starting to close in, and I'm just waiting for the Bureau to possibly issue a severe thunderstorm warning here in Queensland. There are no warnings for the Northern Territory. And a look at the Sydney Harbour region, Sydney Harbour Bridge, the Sydney Opera House, and a ferry service that is very active. But look at that cloud. And we are awaiting the Bureau of Meteorology to update information, and about 45 minutes we should have an update with the tropical cyclone 3-day outlook. This is 14:06 local time here in Queensland, and Force 13's live streaming. And here it comes. Live streaming webcam, Melbourne. And it's now raining. A flood watch has been updated for fire affected catchments in northeast Victoria, East Gippsland. Rapid river rises and localised flooding may develop in fire affected catchments during today and into Tuesday. A low pressure system has developed over eastern Victoria, resulting in increased showers and thunderstorms over the flood watch area. Significant portions of the catchments in the flood watch area have been affected by bushfires, which will result in faster and stronger river responses to rainfall. In the 24 hours to 11 a.m. Monday, widespread rainfall totals of 20 to 40 millimetres and isolated totals of up to 60 millimetres have been recorded in the flood watch area. During today and early Tuesday, further widespread rainfall totals of 20 to 50 millimetres are forecast in the watch area, with isolated totals of up to 100 millimetres. And possible heavy rainfall will increase the potential for localised flooding, landslides, debris across roads in fire-affected areas. Rainfall runoff into waterways may contain debris such as ash, soil, trees and rocks. The catchments likely to be affected: the Bem, Cane, Genoa, Snowy, Tambo, Mitchell, Upper Murray and Mitta rivers, including the Ovens and King rivers. That is the updated advice from the Bureau of Meteorology in Victoria. There's also flood safety advice from the State Emergency Service also in Victoria. And all this information is on the Bureau's warning pages. And the severe thunderstorm advisory for Victoria, looks like it's been updated. Severe thunderstorm delivering heavy rain across Victoria. The advisory is for people in the Mallee, the Northern Country, North Central parts of the Central, East Gippsland, West and South Gippsland and the Wimmera forecast districts. And I'll bring up the warning chart. That is the severe thunderstorm warning. And that is the area under the warning. Mildura up on the New South Wales Victorian border down to Rainbow, Maryborough, Melbourne, Frankston. Then across to Sale, then up to the New South Wales border. And the heavy rain should dampen or hopefully put out any ongoing fires. Mount Balbor, Barnsdale, Warragul, severe thunderstorms likely to produce heavy rainfall, flash flooding, large hailstones, Mildura, Swan Hill, Bendigo, Echuca, Seymour, Castlemaine, Morwell, Sale, Moe, Barnsdale, Orbost. And rainfall anywhere from 45 millimetres up to 82 millimetres. And this is another look at the live webcam at my HQ. And as I said, the cloud is moving in. And we'll have a look at the Brisbane radar and just see what is going on. Oh yes, the Bureau of Meteorology hasn't issued a severe thunderstorm warning, and here is the radar. And as I mentioned, the webcam is to my north. It's actually on a window ledge, would you believe? And I wouldn't mind getting a couple of high quality ones. I can reposition the webcam to face east, but at this point in time, the Bureau hasn't issued a severe thunderstorm warning for the southeast corner of Queensland. The storms are currently tracking in from the west. Toowoomba, Amberley Air Force Base. There's a little bit to the northwest. And as we know, it's the slow moving ones that cause the problems. The webcam shot that is cloud, and we have a storm cell Archerfield, which is about 10 minutes from Brisbane. So severe thunderstorm activity continues, and within the next 25 minutes we should have some updated information via the tropical cyclone 3-day outlook. Bureau of Meteorology here in Queensland, no warnings have been issued. Now we'll have a look at the Doppler wind radar. The blue is towards the radar, and the yellow through red is array, and this is the current scene. And I'll have a look at some observations. Gatton, since 1:30, the Bureau did a update at 1:59. Gatton is just to the east of Toowoomba. At 1:59, they did a reading, northerly winds 30 knots gusting 56, or 16 knots gusting 30. Then they did one a minute later, 48 gusting 65. Then 6 minutes later, they did another reading, 46 gusting 65. And at this point in time, no warning for, and the Bureau has issued a severe severe thunderstorm warning for damaging winds, heavy rainfall, large hailstones. Bureau Meteorology, severe thunderstorm warning for damaging winds, heavy rainfall, large hailstones for the Wide Bay, Burnett, Darling Downs, Granite Belt, South East Coast forecast districts. Severe thunderstorms are likely to produce damaging winds, heavy rainfall, leading to flash flooding in the warning area, large hailstones near the border ranges over the next several hours. Locations which may be affected include Warwick, Toowoomba, Gatton, Texas, Bow Desert and Laidley. And my interest is in the warning area, Yarraman to the west of Toowoomba, down through Warwick onto the border ranges and across to Coolangatta on the Queensland New South Wales border. The Bureau has in place a severe thunderstorm warning as mentioned, and I'm likely to have some activity later on today. And on the screen is a look at the 64 kilometre loop, the Brisbane radar, and a little bit of activity over Archerfield. We also have a light aircraft airport there, Archerfield Airport. And I don't think the Bureau has issued their local advisory. This is the general warning that I've read out, and for the southeast corner they normally issue another advisory. And as I mentioned earlier, I am operating two computer systems here. And I'm just looking. Yes, Biometeorology has issued their second advisory. Severe thunderstorm warning for southeast Queensland, damaging winds, heavy rainfall for the Ipswich, Logan, Scenic Rim and the Lockyer Valley Council areas. And I'll just bring up the warning area. Severe thunderstorm warning. There are 3 cells. The Bureau warns that at 14:25 severe thunderstorms were detected on the weather radar near Laidley, the Grantchester area south of the New South Wales Queensland border, Urbanville, New South Wales. These storms are currently tracking towards the southeast. They're forecast to affect Harrisville by 14:55, Boonah area between Boonah and Beaudesert, and Peak Crossing by 15:25. Damaging winds, heavy rainfall may lead to flash flooding. Severe thunderstorm activity continues down there in Victoria. The Bureau has a severe thunderstorm warning for heavy rainfall for the outer east, parts of the inner east, southeast, and the northern local warning areas. Severe thunderstorms are likely to produce heavy rainfall, leading to flash flooding in the warning area over the next several hours. These severe thunderstorms are slow moving and moving almost south to north. Repeating, these storms are slow moving almost south to north in a line over the eastern metropolitan areas. Therefore, more than one severe thunderstorm may affect a single location and deliver large amounts of rainfall to that location. Locations which may be affected: Croydon, Hillsville, Lilydale, Pakenham, Ringwood and Whittlesea. Coldstream received 22 millimetres of rain in a 30-minute period between 2 to 2:30 p.m. And Victoria is flat. It's a very nice place to visit. I have family in Melbourne, and I was down there in November, and I wouldn't hesitate to go back for another trip and possibly visit some of the area that has been burnt out. And this is the live streaming webcam, Melbourne, looking down on the Crown Casino. Only 2 millimetres of rain has been recorded at Stratford between 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. today. The Bureau also has a flood watch. They updated that just before midday, and that's for the northeast Victoria and East Gippsland. A strong wind warning remains in place for the Port Phillip Bay, Western Port, West Coast and the Central Coast. There are no warnings for the Northern Territory. The Bureau of Meteorology in South Australia at 11 o'clock cancelled the road weather alert. Strong wind warning remains in place for the Banks Strait, Franklin Sound, east of the Flinders Islands and the south west and central west coast down there in Tasmania. This is Force 13 AU live at 14:38. And on the screen is the warning area. Severe thunderstorm activity continues for Victoria, New South Wales and Queensland. And for those that haven't viewed our earlier video update, there's additional information in that video. This is Force 13 at 14:41 hours. And I'll just bringing up additional information as soon as I can. This is another live streaming webcam provided by the Port Authority Gladstone, and this one is Agnes Water, or Agnes Waters, just slightly to the north of Bundaberg. And you can clearly see the supercell activity. There's one cell tracking to the south at Jimboomba. You're heading down towards Bow Desert. And I'll just switch over to the 256 kilometre loop. And you can clearly see where the activity is coming from. And let's see if the Bureau has updated the Queensland one. And they'll update it in about 35 minutes. However, the tropical cyclone 3-day outlook. There's nothing going on in the Coral Sea, and the Bureau hasn't updated the one for the northern region, including the Gulf of Carpentaria. Yes, they have. So they've actually have nothing. The Bureau updates every 24 hours. So severe thunderstorm activity taking place southeast Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria. And we'll have a look at the Doppler wind radar. And for our viewers, a special thank you. I will stop the stream. We'll go back onto standby, and your support has been appreciated. and if the storm activity starts to impact my area, I will come back on air or via the automated streaming service.